Hello all, this is Sound52 here for another Minecraft World Tour. Today, we are here and Feed the Beast Skyblock in my Void Survival World. Now, for those who don't know, this is a little bit different than Minecraft Survival because, as you can tell, there's no world. Just a blank, empty void with nothing in it. So if you slip off and fall, you are pretty much 1000% toast. So you more or less start on a small scrap of land, and then you just sort of build outwards. And that's what I did. So without further ado, let us start. So here's where I started. This scrap of grass is where I started. Humble beginnings, stopping on this hunk of dirt with just the barest amounts of only a piece of bedrock between me and oblivion. It's twice I've set myself on fire in these videos. Sorry about that. Anyways, I soon built out in wood, and soon built outwards. This platform is what I built. I also built this massive thing, a colossal chest. It's exactly as it says on the tin. It's a chest that's massive. You can make these things absolutely gargantuan if you want. These are refined storage, a version of applied energistics, but kind of just meh. Still work. Just I prefer applied energistics to me. Over here is my cobblestone generator, because of course you have to generate your own cobble. A lot of the resources you have to generate yourself. Water you have to generate yourself. Stone, lava, all that jazz. Now, probably wondering what this is. This is for extra utilities, because certain items and extra utilities requires grid energy, and these things generate energy by having lava blocks next to them. This pattern is probably the best way to generate grid energy using lava. It works quite effectively, actually. Now, probably what this thing is. It's a rain shield. Protects me from rain. Pretty much as basic as you can get. Over here is my forge. Same as my other world. Practically the same. Over here is my coke oven for immersive engineering. Now, remember when I mentioned that industrial room in my previous world that I was going to make? Yes. This is what I was going to populate it with. Immersive engineering devices. This is almost like a Victorian or Industrial Revolution technology brought to Minecraft. This is made to make coke coal, which is like a super-powered coal used for various objects. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Over here was where I kept my bulk storage in these drawers. This is where I compacted stuff. This is, well, a pattern server, because, auto crafting. This is my wheat farm. Cacti, sugar canes. This is actually mycelium to make mushroom stuff. But I couldn't just stick to this all the time. So I built downwards. This is where I built this. This is my originally where I built some of my machines. Built outwards. But then I built this platform up here. This is where all my industrial crafts. This is where all my since thermal expansion is not in this mod pack, only Ender IO. So I had to use all this stuff. Extra utilities is also here. This is where I noticed something. This is for power generation. Since death generators produce some rather harmful particles, which usually results in, yes, death. Moving on. Here, these are sifters. These guys sift blocks like dirt, sand, and gravel to get ores out of. That was a method I used previously, but not anymore. which I'll get to. Over here, if we follow this bridge, not sure what I built this for. Follow this bridge, follow the industrial craft stuff. See, unlike the other mods, you actually need to wire them up with these cable buses. And these things are like, well, to show, I'm going to take some gold ore and some iron ingots. Ah, yes, some steel. Actually, never mind. There's some steel ingots in the thing. Now, say for instance I need to make some metal plates. Normally I would use a machine. I would just stick them into a machine and then fly them out. Well, not like this. Oops. Stick them on the conveyor belt, and... excuse me, technical difficulties. What the... See here? Ta-da! Flattens it out. It goes into the hopper and into the chest. Well, it gets digitized, but still. Neat. Impressive, huh? Here is where I make a specific I make fuel by industrial squeezer and biofuel using, again, potatoes, hemp, yes, hemp, and other plant materials to make sort of make biofuel using this. Not here. And this is a grinder. So usually in other machines, it would just do it normally one at a time. But here I can just drop these suckers in. Again. Come on. Work with me here, people. Okay, something's rather wrong, or it's not working. So... or, did I turn this thing off? It has enough power. Oh, now I remember. I'm a dingus. I had a magnet thing on. How foolish of me. Now, as you could see, the compressed ores go up the conveyor belt and into the smeltery, wherein they are, thanks to these graphite electrodes, this industrial furnace melts them down and sends them on their way down the conveyor belt into the hopper and down into the digitizer. Of course, things like this don't come without some waste, so the raw material is placed within this chest as raw slag, which is then sent into the digitizer as such. This blast furnace can also produce slag as well, if I need to produce steel. Again, it's all quite neat. Over here, now you notice this armor is called Supremium. This is called Mystical Agriculture. More or less, I take these type of plants called Infirmium, called Essence. It goes up tiers. First, starting at Infirmium, then Paraditium, Intermedium, Superbium, and then Supremium. Each tier has various powers and also has various seeds. These seeds can be things from just standard drops, like these essences can then be refined into various objects. For instance, a water essence combined into a bucket creates a water bucket, or a fire essence could be combined to form a lava bucket, and so on and so forth. But some of the higher tiers can produce ores, glowstone, redstone, and eventually leading up to things like redstone, diamond, nether quartz, diamonds, blaze rods, etc. Even from other mods, like, of course, like Manalium, like the Manalium from Tinker's Construct, or the dark steel from Ender.io. All can be made into seeds, which then can be grown and harvested. These farms are for that purpose. A few of these are just standard farms. Here is a hemp farm I use to make industrial fuel. All of these are, again, refined and then stored, digitized, and sent into the digitizer. Over here is for another mod, dragon mounts. Yes, you can have your own ender dragon to fly around, but here's the thing. You can also grow them to be specific types of dragons. Ice, water, hell, nature, fire, and finally down below, and high above, heaven. If I could just get to the... Heaven, aka Aether, and Ghost, which is near the bottom. That is the bottommost layer, which I'll get to in a second. Now, not all the mobs I could get via just sitting up here and just growing them like some for a farmer. Some I needed to make a mob farmer. This is where, if we can just get to it, where this comes in. We're at the lowest level. If I wasn't careful enough, I probably would have fallen to my death. This is a mob spawner. Here, fly at the back, it's dark enough, it's pitch black so mobs can spawn. This fan pushes them toward those spikes. The spikes kill the mobs, and all their drops get taken by this little thing into the chest, into the colossal chest, and get digitized. All their experience goes likewise. These two mob spawners are built for a more specialized purpose, specifically for mobs like withers. Actually, I think this one, yes. Yeah, this was for blazes. These were for blazes. And over here is a specific one built for wither skeletons. Now, if you can't see it, but over there are some fairly powerful grinders built specifically to kill withers and decapitate them so I can get their stuff. Since wither skulls are very sought after. You need these to kill the wither. You need nether stars. And a lot of mods, especially some of the more high-end mods, require a lot of these. But we'll get to that. Over here is my portal platform. There's the nether portal. Here is a non-functioning nether portal, because an end portal, because apparently the end portals don't work in this mod. Here is my wither killer. Now, instead of yammering on and showing you how this works, how about I just demonstrate? Shall we? Now, observe. We place the requisite materials on here. Oops. like so. Now, don't try this at home, kids. Leave it up to the professionals. Place the skulls like you normally would. But here's the tricky bit. Right before it spawns, push it into the thing. Now stand back. The explosion still will happen. And look, he's stuck. And this is witherproof. This is taking forever. Ta-da! This stuff is perfectly witherproof. They can't break through it. So they're pretty much trapped while I slash away at them. Isn't that cool? But I use this to make... This also helped me get the Supremium Essence, which allowed me to make this armor, which allows me infinite flight. Pretty much allows me to be in creative mode, creative flight, even though I'm not. Alright. Next phase of our adventure, we go to... where to begin? Of course. Botania Island. Botania is another magic mod, using the power of plants and various plants to generate mana, then you can use to do various magical things. These trees are not from Botania, it's called Internet Dynamics, but I figured they'd be mystical. I'm actually proud of this island particularly because of what it is. I tried making it look like an actual flying island, which took me an age to build. But then I added a nice little feature below the surface. We can just dig below. The infused grass happens, but here I've sort of made like a core made out of shimmer rock, which is a multi-changing rock, saying this is some like powerful core that's keeping this entire place aloft. I mean, purely fictional, but hey, it's good. It's good fiction. Let's go over the Bifrost Bridge. Yes, this is called Bifrost Block. To another mod. Roots, which is more based on like druidity, being one with nature and plant stuff. That's why some neutral mobs have made their home here. Which I'm fine. So long as they don't populate my main platform, they can stay. Righty-ho, then. Our next port of call is, probably, spoiler alert, way down there, but we'll get to that in a second, is the main reactor chamber. This I decided to make a little larger. Now, first, head down the facility. Oh, of course, before we go, it must be clean. Well, with the coronavirus going on, we must be our best. There we go. Cleansing water bottles. All clean and ready to go. Now the facility splits into two parts. The main reactor chamber and the main capacitor bank. This is an Ender IO capacitor bank. A bunch of vibrant capacitors all stacked up against each other. Look at all that power stacked within this. These tesseracts route the power all over the platform. I have enough power here to last quite a long time. And here is the reactor itself. I had to use a computer block from Open Computers to pretty much control this entire thing. This entire reactor is pretty much completely automatic. No outside source. All I need to do is toggle how much I want it to do. like, say, min and max, and this thing will control how much the reaction's happening, and generally, this takes a lot of the work out of managing these things. I really should get that from the main facility, honestly. Right, on with the tour. Oh dear, don't hit the fire. Over here is my mine satellite. This I built as well, with some very unique techniques, I have to admit, using a specific mod called Environmental Tech, which literally bores into the earth, the void itself, to get me materials. Mine, like, be it resources or just general blocks extracted from the void itself. The resources, it isn't cheap, I'll grant thee, but I have power to spare, and if it needs power, these things run on these solar cells. It also has this, a lightning rod. So this thing has quite the power subsystems built in. So, like I said, chances of this... running out of power are pretty darn slim. Alright, what's left? Here is, again, not another nice subject, but it's useful. This is for, of course, blood magic. Now, this is a lot larger than the one I saw. This is a tier, I believe it's like tier 6 altar. I built accordingly various sizes, so when I do expand, I can. I need a lot of these things, these runes, but those are expensive to make. Lots of, well, blood to get it. But I could expand outwards, creating what I need. Took quite a lot of time making this, and a lot more time just to make it the exact size. But I think it worked out quite nicely. Over here is for another mod, is a ability where I test out these little bastards, chance cubes. You never know what's going to happen when you break one open. Uh-oh. Ah! Like that. Well, that's unfortunate. That's really frickin' unfortunate. You can see why I've put it on far from my facility. Sometimes I get a chance of getting these things and you never know what's going to happen. Over here is for Botania's arch boss, the Gaia Guardian. Requires these specific pylons. Still haven't beaten it. Far over here is an auto wither spawner. It spawns the wither on a loop. And it pretty much kills the wither without me doing anything. Like I said, it requires a lot of power to do so, though. But for the most part, it is a powerful system. Oh, great. Now mobs are spawning on it. Wonderful. That's a problem I'll get to another day. Now, I haven't covered every last tidbit of information about this place, but you get the gist. So, hope you enjoy this little tour of my void facility. It's not exactly the most... It's probably one of my more grand projects, and still under construction. I'm still working on Draconic Evolution, which can get pretty crazy, so I've been told. So, with this tour done. This is 752. See you next time.